So first of all, how big is this damn building?
The building itself, we're about 130,000 square feet. We utilize about 65,000 square feet.
It's unbelievable. This is more than I expected. So I actually come from the drywall side of the business way back when, and we
Didn't
start.
you feel at home here?
This is my house right here. We're in Metal Studs and we're building.
Yeah.
So it looks like a real production line. Rock, studs, right to this section. You can see and follow it all the way around the building and straight out the door. Hopefully on a good day, right?
Correct.
That's how it all keeps going.
The plan.
What's island number 1 right here?
Island number 1, that is where the fabrication begins. So we are framing the wall panels, putting the studs in. I'm getting probably about 75% of the panel actually framed.
Okay.
Happens at this station. Then it goes to another station where they do the more detailed framing work. There's bracing and special lifting hardware that we install into the panel and build into the panel. That smaller detail work gets done at a different station.
Okay, so it's just as simple as it looks. Raw framing, bracing, way down there I see the drywall all the way across. You can see the foam. So it's actually not much to it, but there's a lot to it because these actually have to be picked up, unlike stick building in the field. But are you noticing we are throughout the country, more and more things are being built like this because there's no weather problems,
There's so many advantages to it.
Yeah.
One of the big things that we're seeing an impact from is just the tight labor market right now.
Right.
The whole construction industry is very stressed right now with labor, getting guys on site.
We talk about it daily.
Yes,
Daily.
we do too. You know, it does come to us, but we're able to address it in different ways.
Right.
In most cases, when we're building a prefab job, in most cases, the foundation is being poured while we're building the rest of the building in the plant.
Right.
So right there's a huge schedule savings.
Time is everything, right? Especially in you're building with somebody like Robert Walker, time is really something, right? So the steel wasn't even on and you had these panels done because as soon as the steel got finished, you had tractor trailers pulling in. So there's your time right there. It's ridiculous, right? Show me a couple more stations here. So sooner or later it becomes a little bit more technical as it comes down the line.
Yes.
These guys are making it square, putting the braces in, and you can start to see, actually, I know that's one of the Apex panels just by the look of it, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot to it. I haven't figured out yet how you figured to pick them up, but a crane rips them off a truck left and right, and they're not being damaged. So that must be a struggle as far as how you build panels to travel hundreds of miles and still be installed and not be damaged.
That's always an important. We always carry some touch-ups to be done in the site.
Right.
So we always have that. As far as the lifting goes, we have special anchoring devices that we install in the panel that they can easily attach their lifting hardware in the field to pick the panels up. These panels they can weigh anywhere from a couple hundred pounds up to the heaviest panel we've done is 10,000 pounds.
That's incredible. So what do our Apex panels weigh? Because they're all about the same size.
On average, they're about 2,000 pounds plus or minus.
About 1,000 more than I thought. So there's my guessing meter. And they look a lot bigger here in the factory. They're huge, actually.
They are, and especially when we get further down the line, you'll really see how big they are.
You're wrapping them with pressure treated wood. I mean, so far they could float in the ocean as far as I can see. These are what kind of drywall goes on the outside? On the inside?
Exterior. Well, we only do the exterior sheathing, which is a gypsum product. It's an exterior gypsum fiberglass reinforced product.
Gotcha.
Dense glass. We're not using dense glass on this one. We're using the USG product, Secure Rock.
Got it. So I call everything drywall, but it's not drywall.
Right.
It's light.
It is.
Yeah.
It's their ultralight board. It really is drywall, but it's made with a special paper face for exterior exposure.
Okay. Metal studs, sheathing, insulation, finish out the door. Now I really get a full appreciation of how much they weigh.
Yeah.
This isn't even sheathed yet, and look at it.
Yeah. And then we put like thin layer of concrete on top of it.
If raining, snowing, sleeting outside, nobody cares.
Right.
These things are being made under control roofing. Like I said, we see more and more of that. The Sherpad's doing the bathrooms in Orlando. Like, the more you can do prefab, I'm thinking sooner or later, hotels are going to be built. The whole room is going to be built and just put into place.
They
And
certainly do that.
they're working on that right now.
Yeah.
So,
So basically, one thing that we haven't really talked about is, if you notice, everything's being done at working height level, waist height level.
right.
So typically, if this product was installed in the field, there'd be men up on the lift
Yep.
installing it,
Good point.
having to deal with the logistics of operating a site on lift, especially as busy as a project down at Apex.
Right. Right.
It's a challenge to get equipment around the building. So we're taking all of that work, all of that nightmare logistical work, and putting it in the shop, doing it at waist level. Therefore, the quality is better.
Oh, it's perfect. Right. How long have you been in business? How long have you been around making panels?
Atlantic Prefab has been in business since early 2015. I've been in the panelizing business for over 20 years.
Didn't know it was around for 20 years.
Oh yeah.
No kidding. So, what's newest, latest, and greatest coming up? Because everything changes all the time. What's the next step we're going to look at as far as panelized?
Something that we're doing now, which is going to become more and more readily available, is we do panels far more complicated than these. We
Right.
actually do thin brick panels,
Okay.
where we build a wall very similar. The panels that the thin brick goes on is no different than the panels that you see here,
Right.
up to the weather barrier stage. Once
Okay.
the weather barrier is complete, then the panels start to look a little bit different. We put insulation on the outside of the building,
Yep.
and then we actually pour a thin 1-inch concrete reinforced slab on top of the panel. And that reinforced slab acts as a substrate for the thin brick or any adhered product.
There's a lot more to it than I thought.
There certainly is. There certainly is.
This is just not metal studs and putting a drywall on.
Right, right.
So, they come insulated, right?
Correct.
So how do you get an inspection done? Is there such a thing? It's in the field or here?
For this particular product, we have our own internal QC, quality control, and
Yeah.
inspections.
Yeah.
There's no special inspections for that.
Okay.
However, there are, depending on different air barriers and different products, may introduce some inspections that have to be done
Right.
in the shop,
Okay.
which different types of air barriers require pull tests. We're not dealing with that here on this project, but in cases where we do need to have a special inspector come in, they do come in to perform those pull tests as needed.
Interesting.
This is the weather barrier process. This is a product manufactured by Stowe called Gold Coat,
Right.
and it acts as the weather barrier. It's a air permeable product. This gets fluid applied to the panel.
Right.
You can see the reinforcing mesh at the corners and at the joints.
All done inside.
Right, and we bring that weather barrier right to the perimeter of the panel.
Yep.
So the panel is virtually watertight. If we took this, put it in the water,
Yeah.
it may float.
If it would probably float. Right. What are these guys doing now?
The next step, after this product is installed and dried, the next product is to what they affectionately call sticking the foam. So basically the foam, which is the exterior insulation,
Right.
it's an EPS product. They put a cement-based adhesive on the back of it to stick it.
This is really funny to see because this is about to be hung 40 feet in the air.
It is.
How many more panels do you have for Apex? How many more weeks or days or whatnot? Because you're putting them on almost every day down there.
Yes. We have about 3 weeks left to production, probably just under 100 panels left to complete.
And how many panels in total? Because I had,
Approximately 250 panels.
that's a lot of panels. Is that a big job for you or an average job for
It's
you?
a very good sized job. It's about 50,000 square feet of exterior panels.
You get
all
all
pre-finished.
Do you get all those fun facts? So we needed those the other day. Over 300 panels. How many square feet?
About 60 or 50,000, over 50,000 square feet.
And when you're done this Apex job here in the factory, do you have the next job ready to go? Is somebody already beating your door down?
We do. We have another project. It's not a pre-finished project, but it's just simple load-bearing frame panels with sheathing.
Okay.
And it's a 2-story building. We're also doing the roof trusses for that project.
Wow, that's incredible. We're in the truss section here of Atlantic Prefab. It's as big as everywhere else. What, is that one truss right there?
That's one truss. It spans about 40 or 50 feet. It's for an assisted living facility. These particular trusses, it's not like wood trusses where they're spaced 16 inches on center.
Right.
These trusses are spaced 4 feet on center, have a clear span of 50 feet. There's metal roof decking that goes on top. These are some pretty heavy structural trusses.
That's the real deal right there. What gauge studs are these, do you know?
Our trusses range in gauge anywhere from 20 gauge to 12 gauge.
That's like, honestly, a piece of...
Yeah, that's 14 gauge.
This is not a metal stud.
This is not your interior framing stud.
How do you pick up a truss that big?
We use our equipment to get them off the jig. We're either doing it with manpower or we're using our equipment to pick it up, depending on the weight.
And I can see you have it in a jig, you just said, which keeps everything perfectly square.
Yes.
Like you can't mess this up. You really can't.
You cannot.
As long as that guy's cutting right, walking it over, he's screwing it in, you can't screw this up.
The trusses are designed on the computer. The computer tells us computer gives us a bill of lading. Every single piece needed in the length.
Right.
Everything is pre-cut and it basically fits itself. Even though we're jigging it, really, there's no other way for these pieces to fit together.
Could you do residential with this?
We have done residential. It's kind of a different beast.
Yeah.
Commercial is our biggest market because of the fire code.
Oh, right.
Non-combustible construction. So basically every job that we're doing trusses on is a non-combustible building.
That makes sense.
Per the code.
Yep.
So that's our look at the factory of Atlantic Prefab. And yes, those are headed to Marlboro right now, but don't tell Robert Walker because he would have wanted them up yesterday. Hard hats.
How's that go? So, that went,
Yeah, calm down.
that went weirder than I thought.